like to go ahead and get started with your open statement.
Yeah, great. First of all, just want to congratulate our very own, our president, Christy Coleman, and the Las Vegas Raiders president, Sandra Douglas Morgan. First time in history, 2 female presidents. Just what an accomplishment for both sides really to come in and to represent our organizations that way. So, and to do it in a winning fashion is fantastic for Christy. So congrats to both sides there. Injury-wise, guys are coming in and out. We still don't have a full conclusion, just from some of the imaging and things we're doing on Adam Thielen, Lonnie Johnson, Damian Lewis, and Jordan Fuller. We'll have more information after we go through that. And then, just to start it off, I think that this week was so powerful for us just in terms of trusting the process. We had a great week of practice. We captured the heart of every day, our work Wednesday, our turnover Thursday, our focus Friday, the amount of focus it requires, the discipline to come back to work, and to really capture each of those days, to stack them, and then for it to come to life on Sunday to play complementary football, which is my hope. My hope was to go out there, to be able to run the ball, stop the run, win on first down, and then have a good day on third downs. Offensively, we were 5 of 7 on 3rd and 5 or less, which is the world we want to live in. That's a fantastic day. We waned a little bit in the second half on third down, things that we got to focus on and improve. Defensively, we had a fabulous day on third down, just attacking the ball, punching it out in some of our opportunities, knocking balls down, being productive that way. So a huge growth step for the team for us to be able to play our style of football. And it all comes to life because we had those third and manageables. We took care of those downs early on, and we were able to complement each other to give the defense rest so we can play the run the way we know we can. And we can continue drives so that we can take advantage of explosive plays throughout. So it was a fantastic group effort. Ajero, a beautiful job of just continuing to pound the principles of the effort we're looking for. Team football, all playing together, fitting the runs, just fighting and competing to put our guys in position to be able to attack the quarterback and attack the run game the right way. And so I thought Ajero did a beautiful job with his staff of just motivating the guys to take the next step in our process. Tracy Smith as well, from a special team standpoint, I think we hit 11 or 12 of our 14 goals for the day. So just a great job in all phases achieving those goals. And certainly offensively, Brad just continued to pound the table for the efficiency, for the details, for the execution that we're looking for in the pass game, also in the run game, but just, never shying away from just attacking the fundamentals and the basic of our play. And that was a full staff commitment and a full commitment from our players to respond to the challenge.
All right, thanks, Coach. We'll get into questions. Let's go to Joe Person, followed by Mike K.
Hey, Dave. Sorry for my video here. I'm pretty certain it's probably user error, but just wanted to ask you how you are planning to approach quarterback. Is this going to be a deal where you're just going to roll with Andy as long as he continues to play like he did yesterday?
Andy's our quarterback. He gives us our best chance to win. That's the approach as we get ready for the Bengals.
And I know we asked you this yesterday, but as you watched the film of him, was there anything else that really stuck out and stood out in terms of how you guys were able to make such a dramatic turnaround in the passing game?
It was just a commitment to just doing things right, hit the first guy in progression, having answers for pressure, and just being able to take advantage of those things when we did. There's certain things that we got to clean up. But, just for the full system to come to life, it all starts up front with the offensive line. Without harping too much on Andy's performance, I got to talk about a group that took the challenge in the run game. We finished the game running the ball, which is my dream. It's my vision of Panthers football at its finest. We're running the ball at the end to establish the attitude and the finish that we're about. And then, of course, just being able to sustain drives and for those guys to give us time so that we can be aggressive down the field, which we were able to do.
Thank you.
Got it, Joe.
Hey, Dave. Bryce taking on the backup duties. What did you think of his energy on the sideline? How did he perform in that role by helping out Andy?
He was consistent in his leadership, the way that he, connects with the guys, the way that he, continued to connect with people, to add that value of the experiences. Because now you talk about a guy who's got 18 games of experience under his belt to be able to see the game and bring those things, and he certainly did that.
And then you brought up running the ball. You've brought up running the ball basically since you got here. I'm just curious, with Chuba's ability to churn out yards, he very rarely loses yardage. How effective is that for you when you're figuring out what personnel to use in the running game and what plays to call?
Yeah, it's so important, right? Because the goal, you really want to win first down. Because if you do, and that winning first down to me looks like getting 4 or more yards. Because as soon as you get into your second and mediums, you have your whole call sheet at your disposal, and that's what makes you deadly. That's what allows you to attack, is when you have the opportunity to run it again to get a favorable third, or you have the opportunity to throw a play action or something like that to push the ball down the field. And Chuba's style, the way that he attacks the line of scrimmage, the way he finishes forward, it's perfect for what we're looking for. And he certainly gives me the confidence to continue to call those runs, and the linemen really rally around that, and love to just finish those runs with him.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks.
All right, let's go to David Newton, followed by Darren Gant.
Hey, Coach, congrats on your first win again. So much was made about the quarterback position yesterday, but as you mentioned in your opening statement, the defense really played well. Almost feels like you're doing it with mirrors with all the injuries you have. What was key out there for you guys defensively, as far as scheme-wise, that you can discuss?
Really complimentary football without getting into too much of the specifics of adjustments and just playing our calls. When the offense is able to sustain drives and you're able to be on the field, you have a rested defense coming out there to stop the run. When they make their stops on third down and give us the ball back, it just works back and forth. Excuse me. And that's really what I felt. I felt a stronger group that was committed to the effort, committed to the finish and all that, but they had the energy to do that and to really fire their shots. And even in some of the drives that got longer, they were able to sustain with more energy because both sides and special teams with the field position, Johnny put one inside the 5, like make them work the whole field, some things like that. So it all ties in, it all matters, and we play off of each other that way.
And I want to follow up with what you said about your quarterback approach, and you said Andy gives us our best chance to win. Can you expand on what you mean specifically about that?
No, I don't really want to expand to that. That's just my general thought, and my approach to this team and what we're trying to do together. He continues to give us our best chance to do that.
And anything you specifically, when you went back and looked at the film on him, that you were really impressed with?
What I expected. Do your part, get the ball to the first open guy. When the shots are there, take them. When they're not, get the ball out. And we had some great production out of our backfield in the checkdowns and all that, which is a part of our system.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Dave, you mentioned, and you've said a lot since you've been here about running the way you want to run. You dream of that kind of thing. Where did that come from philosophically? Was there some point earlier in your career when you realized running that way was how you wanted to do football?
In my DNA, it's Pete Carroll football. It was USC Trojans football. It was Seattle Seahawks football. And the highest performances that I've seen, when we won championships and when we were a powerful team, it was that complementary football, being able to run the ball, being able to play great defense, and flying around like crazy on special teams. And the heart of it all is toughness. And how do you show toughness as an offense is you run the football. And our wide receiver group is a big part of that as well. They're tied into it, and you could see examples of them blocking downfield and giving that type of effort. And it's a mentality of a program. It's a mentality of Panthers football that I want to continue to just, keep pounding away at that mentality, to be able to show that toughness as a full group. And you could see it at the end of the game as we finished our runs. There was some violence. Guys got tired, and it was ugly, and it was beautiful. And I just loved being in that mode to finish games.
That play where Robert kind of got out on a guy and knocked him down, is that almost an example of what you want to see from that group up front?
Absolutely. It was Robert on the screen. It was Icky on a run late where he kind of launches a guy on the edge, and really gives Chuba a chance to bounce the run and get a 8 or 9 yard run. But it's just that mentality that, guys, we're going to finish this way. This is us. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking to celebrate this is us moments and to show it to the group and to say, this is who we can be when we all do right and we all play good team football.
All right, let's go to Steve Reed, followed by Deshaun Brown.
Hey, Dave, congratulations on your first win.
Thank
I wonder if just when before the game and as guys are getting around, and did you notice an increased level of energy, excitement from the guys with Andy being at quarterback? Was there something just that was just a little bit of a spark that you saw?
I just saw a really focused group. Saturday night meeting before, in the locker room on game day, it was that focus. It was that commitment and that engagement to what we're doing and giving them clear expectations. I felt a confidence out of the group that we had a great week of practice. We troubleshot some of the issues as we went through later in the week, but the effort was there, the execution was there, and when you have a bunch of guys, if your process and your preparation is right, that's what leads to confidence. And when you have confidence, you're able to trust. And when you have trust, you're able to focus down in and down out, and that's the result. The result is good football on Sundays when we can be a really focused group, and that's what I felt from the guys throughout the week and certainly on game day.
Dave, congratulations again on your first win.
Thank
I
you.
wanted to ask or to get your thoughts on something Andy shared yesterday. He talked about how much fun he had, in part because of the freedom to be himself. I'm curious of your approach with him throughout the week, really encouraging him to be himself within this scheme.
Yeah, that's our approach for the whole group. The approach is that if we just play within our system, there are opportunities to make big plays. Let them come to you. Let those opportunities show themselves, and then just be ready to strike. And to be able to, again, it goes back to complementary football. I know I keep talking about that, but when we sustain drives, I can be more aggressive as a play caller. When the defense makes their stops and give us the ball back, the same thing, it ties in. When we sustain drives, our defense can really get into their football and the different calls. And, Ajero's able to get into some of the ways that he wants to attack. So the whole thing puts us into an attack mode versus a reactive mode. And that's what we saw, as we saw more opportunities, which allowed guys to play aggressively and to just be free and have fun. And I felt the difference on the sideline because of the flow of the game, that guys were really starting to celebrate each other and they were really starting to come to life together, which is another part of our football that I would love to continue to grow, is that guys would celebrate each other. And even when it just looks like this, really normal play, it's like, no, that was a fantastic play because of this technique we're asking this guy to execute that led to a 1 yard gain by that offense, or it led to a 4 yard run by us, which might not be exciting to the world, but for me, it's everything because that allows us to sustain and to be multiple and to attack.
I did have a quick follow-up in honor of Tell the Truth Monday.
Yeah.
Was there something you saw on tape that you didn't get a chance to appreciate in real time?
There's a lot because it was all phases. But I think if I could just put my finger on one, I think it was just the way that the guys had, even when the Raiders found success on different plays, it was the snap back into it focus that I noticed from the group. It was offensively, we took a couple sacks on some shots we tried to throw. And it was the reaction on the next play to get a positive play. Like the refocus, that's the greatest challenge of competitors and athletes everywhere. The challenge is the refocus. Anyone can focus for that first play, but can you refocus over and over again? And I think that's probably, to answer your question, something that I was really excited about is there wasn't emotional reactions about the negative plays. The way that we were able to kind of mitigate those things and just go to the next play was fantastic by the group.
All right, we got time for 3 quick ones. Let's go to Jeff Hawkins, Jack Taylor, and finish with Joe Person.
Greetings, Coach. Kudos on your first win. Could you comment on the job Moulton did against Crosby? He was slowed by an ankle injury, but he was virtually non-existent. And second, the O-line as a whole, even in the 2 losses, they graded out well. How have they done so far for you?
Just another solid day. You know, they've done everything we've asked of them. They've had some different issues that have come up, but another solid day in the running game, reestablishing the line of scrimmage. That was from snap 1 all the way through the end of the game. So that's what we expect, and that's what we hope for from our group up front. And then in the pass game, when they're able to protect and give us time, it allows us to be aggressive. It allows us to take advantage of some of the things that I can see the defense is doing, and we can, you know, continue to grow and be in an attacking mode. And the offensive line, it all starts up front, and they really allowed us to do that.
Coach, congratulations again, and glad y'all got back home safe. You mentioned that you hit about 11 or 12 goals that you had for the day. Can you elaborate on some of those goals that you didn't hit on the day?
Not off the top of my head, you know, but I'll start. It always starts with the football. We had no turnovers. We created one on the defensive side. We had some near close opportunities. Josie had a close one down at the end of the game when they were kind of in a 2-minute mode, but we knocked the ball down at the line of scrimmage. We had some good punch outs on some passes down the field that could have been close if they had established, you know, if the Raiders had established, you know, a possession. We had chances where we punched at the ball. So I thought the ball awareness in all phases was heightened, and it's going in the direction that we really want. So it starts there. We talked about the third downs. I would say maybe one, like just finishing on third down better. You know, I thought that we had some opportunities we didn't take advantage of in the second half offensively from a third down standpoint. And then when they were in their 2-minute mode, you know, they kind of, you know, made some of those plays and extended their drives that I think we can do better at in challenging some of those passes. We took advantage of our goal-to-go opportunities offensively. Let's see here. We had a successful 2-minute drive at the end of half, resulting in the touchdown with Adam. And then, you know, I think just across the board, you know, the effort was at a high level for our group throughout the day. Yeah, so those are some of the things that just kind of pop out in my mind.
Thank you, Coach.
Dave, we saw the video of Dave giving you the game ball. You had mentioned kind of what a heavy week it was for you for a lot of different factors. What could you kind of take us through that moment and what you were thinking and feeling as that played out in the locker room?
I live for the celebration with the group. I live for the celebration of everybody that's working so hard to try to find those wins throughout the week. And I live for the spirit of the players, that they feel pride about what we're doing. That's so important to me. That's first and foremost in the front of my mind is, can I give these guys hope and confidence that if we trust our processes, it will lead to results. And so that celebration was so important. The game ball, I'll always remember this, you know, for the rest of my life. And I think, you know, part of the pregame that I got emotional about is my dad's 75 years old and couldn't make it down to the sideline to see him, but the rest of my family was. But I could see him sitting underneath that 107 sign up there, you know, and just kind of looking up, and how special it was for me to get my first win with all of my family there. My brothers, their wives, all the kids, my cousins, my parents, you know, that they were all there in that moment to share it, you know. It was really, really special, you know, and to also just like, I want to make the people proud that brought me here, Mr. and Mrs. Tepper, Dan Morgan, a part of that process, all the people that were on the panel interviewing me to come here and to build something, to build a program that we could be proud of. And it's just one game, and I cherish that ball, and I look forward to the celebration that happens in that locker room. And so it was just an explosion and a celebration of all the hard work that we put, but also with the holding that in one hand, and then in the other hand holding like this is just one step, and we got to go right back to the process and throw another great week, you know. And so I just have that balance of just staying grounded with, like, this was a fantastic example of what we can be. This is a standard of play. just in terms of playing complementary football, and we got to go back to work, and just feeling the, just the urgency that the whole group has, and of where we're headed and what we want to accomplish.
Where'd you put the ball?
It's in my office. It'll be right there, right next to my my first ever head coach win against Taft High School in 2004. I think we won. I think we won like 19-13. We had a game-winning drive, and my buddy, one of my best friends, Mike Brumbelow, he was my center in high school. He was my O-line coach when we coached JV together, and he went out to Super Kmart or Big Five or something and bought, just a cheap Wilson ball and gave it to me and said, "Congrats on your first win." So those two balls sit next to each other. And that was just, those are special moments that I won't ever forget.
Thank you, Dave.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.